Bill Maher is a shit liberal fuckboy. I mean, this guy, I just detest more as time goes on. I really do. Because the dude is such a fraud. He tries to act like he's some objective free thinker, and he's really not. The guy will sit there and try to basically insult people if that they don't go along with his political positions. I mean, look, I seen him get into it, him and Glenn Greenwald, which Glenn Greenwald wiped the floor with him for one, especially on the position of, I mean, this dude is a Muslim, anti-Muslim shit lib fuckboy. Okay, he's a pompous asshole who his Trump derangement syndrome just is beyond the pale, man. It's like you can't have a conversation with this guy without him trying to somehow make anyone who supports Trump into some deranged lunatic. But somehow his political positions are the ones that are the most coherent and sane. This is the same guy who sits there and gets any person that gets caught saying something racist and gets up there and gets on there and gets to be and brings them on his apologist platform and defends them basically. Okay, got Megan Kelly, Miss Jesus White and Santa Claus is White up there, and other things she said, and then she gets she gets put in her place, right? And then you know what they do? Then all of a sudden they end up on Bill Maher's show, and Bill Maher's up there defending them. And she's not the only one. She's not the only one. This dude wants to sit there and, talk to people when they ask him, real questions about politics. All of a sudden, oh, I don't know. I mean, some of the things he said recently have just made me sick. I mean, he had an interview with Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment. And, Patrick Bet-David, I can tell you, I respect him. I don't necessarily agree with all of his views, but I respect him. He's a good interviewer. And at the end of the day, I agree with him. If one thing I can agree with him about is that it's not about the person, it's about policy. I mean, that's what we're voting for. We're never going to get some. If we're just looking for somebody who looks like us or who acts like us or listens to the same music, then we're missing the point. But if you're not in the club, apparently with in Bill Maher's club, then no matter how good a politician you are, it doesn't matter. You're just not good enough, right? He's going to sit there and tell PBD that, well, I just think the argument about Biden's bad withdrawal in Afghanistan, that's just such a quote unquote bullshit argument. Like, yeah, you know what, Bill Maher, go tell that to the families of those soldiers that died over there in that failed withdrawal of Afghanistan. Not to mention the billions of dollars in weapons that were left there. All right? And you sat right there in front of Patrick Bet-David making all kinds of excuses for Joe Biden's failure that you wouldn't make for Donald Trump. But you sat there and fixed your face to say that's a bullshit argument. Go tell some of these former combat soldiers that I know, that I've talked to personally, that are not happy with what Joe Biden did. Go tell them that to their face. Okay? So they can break your fat nose. All right? Because you know what? That was a quite arrogant thing for you to say when all these people's lives were lost unnecessarily. But yet you want to sit there and say, Trump should have done it before. I mean, your Trump derangement system. I mean, you can't be objective not even for 1 second, can you? But yet somehow you think that you should be considered credible? And I'm going to tell you something. You know what even more insulting to me? Is that you sit up there with Killer Mike trying to get him to endorse Joe Biden. And the man sat there and told you in an intelligent fashion that I'm not going to make my vote about the person, it's about the policy. He wasn't endorsing anybody, which is the right thing to do. He shouldn't have to. Why can't you just say to vote for Biden? And Killer Mike gave a little clever retort about that. Listen, sometimes you gotta stay out of white folks' business, blah blah. I heard what he said, but in reality, guess what? That man ain't gotta tell you he's gonna vote for. That's his business. He can if he wants to, but this guy wants to sit there and corner people when they don't want to get pushed. When they're not pushing the position that he wants. I mean, he just sickens me. And this is a black man he's got sitting in front of him. It's like, no, dude, you definitely don't get to pick no position for me, Bill Maher, because you know that you got all your own interest. I'm sure that you'll sit there and make every excuse for, Joe Biden, giving billions of dollars to some of these wars, particularly to Israel. Let's just keep that a buck. But you want to sit up here and insult people because they don't want to vote for Jim Crow Joe. Then you sit there and have the nerve to tell Patrick Bet-David about how you like Gavin Newsom and he's good and he'll be able to win the election. So it's not about whether or not the country wins, it's about whether your team wins. But then you have the hypocritical nerve to tell him, I don't want to make this about the red and blue team, which is exactly what you were doing. You hypocrite. You made it about Biden versus Trump, which is basically the same thing. I mean, this dude I'm just incensed by this dude, man. Because I just hope that a lot of you brothers do not listen to this guy. I really do. Hope you take anything he says with a grain of salt, because he is not on your side and he is not about helping you at all. At all. He's only about his little clavering of people, okay? That's all he's about. He's about his little social circles and his producers, whoever these people are that are, neoliberal connected, whatever. That's all he's about. He doesn't care about policy. Look, he's rich. At the end of the day, it's not going to affect him. No, but he wants his team in there. Because, and the thing is, if he could sit there and give you an actual substantial argument as to why he's against Trump, that'd be one thing. But it's just mostly made up crap. And then when somebody says, look, I don't want that position, then he wants to go on an attack. Why can't you just say that you're going to vote for Trump? You know why, Bill Maher? It's not because they're afraid. It's probably because you're not going to corner them into a position so you can say, well, this guy's a Trump supporter, so don't listen to anything he says. He's got no credibility because, you saying Gavin Newsom somehow, he almost got, I mean, come on. Larry Elder ran against him to get him out of there, okay? Those people there in California are sick of him, man. Please. And then, we can push him to the right. Yeah, sure you can. Like right now, we have all these, the thing is about you, Bill Maher, is that you don't have to worry about paying your bills or having a place to live. You don't have to worry about the gas prices, okay? You can go drive a Tesla, or doesn't matter anyway, because no matter what the gas prices are, you don't have to do that much driving. Unless you want to. Either way, you can afford it regardless. Probably on plane more than you are in cars. And then you want to turn around and tell these folks, regular working class people here don't want to hear that bullshit, okay? They see what they're paying at the pump. They see what they're paying at the store. They see what they're paying for housing. They're seeing the price go up and stuff. They're seeing that their dollars doesn't go very far. Okay? They see this. They see the inflation. They see all the other stuff that's going on. But you know what you care about? Making sure that you maintain the position of your little group. That's it. You don't care about these other people. And I'm going to go as far as say this. You don't give a damn about black people. I don't care how many black women you sleep with and smoke weed with, buddy. Don't care how many you do. Because I can tell you something. It doesn't mean anything. Because guess what? We already got people like Pearl who have no problem with sleeping with a black man. But boy, she got a lot of negative things to say about black history and black culture. Hell, subterfuge, basically. Full of historical inaccuracies, but really just bigoted convenience is really what it comes down to. Is what it comes down to. Same way with everybody who wants to be this big supporter of Thomas Sowell. Because he's the only black academic or intellectual that the world's ever seen that matters. Apparently, it's the only one that for the most part, the right ever mentions. So as far as I'm concerned, and let me tell you something. This is the reason why Greg Foreman caught all the flack he did for calling Bill Maher a classic liberal. Because I can tell you right now, hell, if anything, I'm a classic liberal. This guy is far from a classic liberal. This guy just, please. A lot of these guys, a lot of these liberals right now are exactly that. And I'm taking that term from Mr. Jimmy Dore. They're just shit libs, man. They're shit libs. They really are. And I tell you something. Remember people like Bill Maher in November when you go to vote. That's all I'm going to say, whether you vote or not. But just remember, whatever position you pick, remember you got people like him out here that want to shame you and tell you to get in line and go vote for Joe Biden. Well, I got news for you, Bill Maher. We're fucking free, and we're going to vote for who the fuck we want to vote for, and we don't have to vote if we don't want to either. Whatever decision we make is ours to make, not yours and your little elite liberal friends. This dude really, he just sickens me. He really does. I mean, what an asshole, man. What an asshole. I mean, just sitting there trying to corner people into, and then trying to smear them, basically. Trying to subtly smear them in his own way because they don't want to. He wants to try to bully people into basically saying, listen, okay, I'll vote for Joe Biden. I'll support Joe Biden. I mean, he just ignores all of Joe Biden's history and everything else they've done. Let's just ignore the fact that he forced people. And that's funny, too, because Patrick David brought that up to him, too, about the whole aspect of the COVID thing. Ain't Joe Biden sat up there with his talking about Trump being a dictator? Hey, well, Bill Maher, let me ask you a question. Do you think when Joe Biden sat there and told people when he was trying to get him to take that jab, when he said, quote unquote, my patience is running out, you think that just maybe that was a little bit of the talk of a dictator or a bully who's going to tell you my patience is running out, so get your ass down there and get that shot like I said so, like I told you to? Well, number one, that's a violation of the Constitution. And I damn sure don't want to hear from the shit libs that are pro-abortion. Like, and that was the hypocrisy of people like on The View, like Whoopi Goldberg sitting up there talking about, well, the shot and Sonny Holston. These are the same ones that'll sit there and say, my body, my choice. But I guess it's only when a woman wants to get an abortion is your choice, right? But when it comes to getting a jab, hey, jump in line and get a jab and shut up. These people are filled with hypocrisy. Filled with hypocrisy. That's something? Not only is that a violation of our constitutional rights as far as not getting a jab, it's also a violation of international law. It's called the Nuremberg War Code. Look it up. The Nuremberg War Code. The Nuremberg War Code. But see, none of this stuff gets talked about in the mainstream media because they just want you to fall in line with Pfizer and with the pharmaceutical companies giving you that snake oil. I mean, hell, you couldn't even say that, how you felt about the jab before. I mean, without being banned off of YouTube or having your account taken down or having your videos flagged. I mean, well, but this is supposed to be about free speech, right? But they'll tell you, oh yeah, well, it's a private platform. They do what they want. Well, no, actually, when you have this much, when you're in this position, it's actually a public utility at this point. And that's how it should be treated. It was one of the big reasons why Trump wanted to have something done with Section 230 when he was in office because, these companies are saying, you can't sue us because we're not publishers, but yet they're acting as editors. So no, you can't have it both ways. And you shouldn't be able to have it both ways. You shouldn't be able to say, well, don't punish us, don't sue us if somebody posts something that might be might be a defamatory We'll take it down if we catch it, but don't sue us because we're not we're not publishers, but then you're editors, right? No. Well, anyway, yeah. Bill Maher, no. I think a thumb down to this guy. Don't take any of his political opinions because this man, please, he's so filled with hypocrisy and hubris. It's not even funny. He's not your friend. He's not a friend of the common man. And sure as hell ain't a friend to our community. I'm out.